first, can you help me for a second, please? So, let's say you're on bottom, okay? I hope I didn't already explain this to you. One guy will explain this, but okay. So I'm gonna be here in side control. The second later, I'm gonna go to the back. I just have one question right now. What would be the first thing you do over here?
Here?
Yeah.
How do you get my arm?
Go for it. Okay, good. Turn around, please. So, give me your back. What would be the first thing you do over here?
Maybe try to get my back on the ground.
Okay, good. Which position would you like? You can choose whatever. Let's say mount. Doesn't matter. What would be the first thing you do over here? Okay. Have you, please? Let's go over here. What's the first thing you do over here? Do something. You cannot make it. Okay, good. Okay, well, come here please again. Look. The first thing I always do is actually something different. Look, take me in side control please. What you see everybody do right now was straight away when I said do something, I started to move straight away. So I said, what is the first thing you can do over here? I will try and put my arm here and go. Well, that's all correct, but it rarely works like that, right? I could do like a million, maybe like 5 options. Let's say I can bridge him over, I can go underneath, I can hip escape, bring my knee inside, I can even turtle him over here. So how do I choose for which technique I'm gonna go? Honestly, I'm not gonna choose. He's always gonna choose. The first thing I'm always gonna think, the Jiu-Jitsu at its core is self-defense. Not that I want to talk about self-defense on the street and all that stuff, but still you've gotta defend yourself in a way like this. Look, let's say you roll with 100 people. You roll with 100 people on one day. 1% is gonna be assholes. You gotta take that into account. Maybe 1 in 1,000, 1 in 100, but if you roll every day, you're gonna meet some people who deliberately want to hurt you, right? So you have to be ready for those. Then there's also, let's say, 50% are going to be beginners at least, maybe even, probably more even. So a lot of people are going to go rough with you, are going to go hard. So you got to prepare for that. The weakest spot we have on our own body is our neck. So if your neck is relaxed, and I snag it like this, after a while you're going to get injuries in your neck. And we don't know who we're rolling with over here. And you can have like some kind of an idea, and a douchebag, for example, when you're starting to roll slowly, then snap all of a sudden. And it's important to protect for those people as well. So you all have to be ready to defend for those things. So always when you roll, you're going to be ready for whatever is coming to you. So how would you roll? I would never roll with a relaxed neck, for example. Always keeping my neck a little bit tight. So I go, yeah, exactly. So if you take me to side control, for example, here, the first thing I'm going to do is always going to connect. This means this. You try to move it, please. Feel this versus this. Right now? Yeah, exactly. So it's bad. It's bad for, not really bad, but it can always get way, way, way worse. And that's his goal. His goal is to make my position progressively worse. And my goal is always to make my position progressively better. And for this to happen, I need to take a stand first. I need to be happy with what I have, and then be happy with whatever he gives me. So my knee really wants to be inside, but by hip escaping here, they can put a knee on belly, for example, yeah. So timing is important. So here the first thing to do is connect. Connecting means putting pressure on everything that touches something. My heels touch the floor, so my heels are going to put pressure in the floor. My head touches the floor, so I'm going to keep my neck straight. You never roll with try to avoid rolling with a bent neck. 90% of the time I want to keep my head on the floor, or at least a straight and tight neck. My heels on the floor, my arms touch him, give contact here, knee against his hip. See, let's try to roll now, please go. Every move he makes now is going to give me something to move with. And I'm not, I'm not in a rush to try to get out. I'm just trying in a rush to not get, not in a rush. I'm always concerned about how can I make the best of my position over here, right? If you think about it in, let's say more psychology, for example, it can be 3 things in life. You can be a very aggressive person, you can be a pussy, like a walkover. Neither of the both is good. You cannot be too aggressive in life, and you cannot be, let's say, a pudding, like everybody walks over. It's also not good. So what is the best state to be in? What is it? Normal. Sorry? Normal. Yeah, just like normal. Exactly. So if you're here and they crush you, that's being I push it, let's say, if you try to get out, that's super aggressive. So you try to be here and just take a stand and brace yourself. So when everybody to get a partner, we're gonna do this for like 2 minutes. You pick bottom, maybe side control, maybe mount, doesn't really matter what you take. And you're gonna focus on this. You're gonna put your heels on the floor. You're gonna curl your toes up. You're gonna put your elbows on the floor. You're gonna arch your back. A hand needs to be able to pass underneath your back. If it's touch, it's not good. Your butt has to be heavy, your neck has to be heavy, and that's what you're gonna do. It's actually like a squat. This can also work. That's it, okay? So try to start with this, and then we're gonna go to the actual class. Okay? Let's go. First thing you gotta do when you start training, let's say, is you gotta connect with your opponent. Injuries, well, let's say the more distance we have between us and our opponent, the less connection we have, the more speed, flexibility, strength, explosiveness, the more physical attributes are gonna play a role. If someone wants to punch me, I'm really gonna be very far away. We're gonna be trying to stick to our opponent. Since we're here not to run away, we're actually trying to roll with each other. The best position for me to be in any given situation is stick very close to my partner. Doesn't matter if you have arms this big and you get a little bit of space, you can push me away. But if I'm super tight, you need something to work with, okay? So I'm always focused on being very tight. On competition, I'm focused also on not giving the good positions away. Like, I don't want to give points. But on training, I don't care how many times you pass my guard, how many times you take my back. The only thing I care a little bit about is I don't want to get tapped. Because it's a goal, otherwise what are we doing here? But other than that, that's all good. So now let's go to the back attacks. Come here, please. So there's gonna be some overlap with the stuff Brit shows. Because these days you cannot talk about the back without at least overlapping with something what Brit does. Because what he does is great. So if you're not at least have some overlap, it means you're doing something wrong, I think, right? So this being said, let's start, for example, with you can have the seat belt if you want to, that's okay. I'm gonna bend my knees a little bit, I'm gonna be leaning forward. And I'm not interested in getting out over here. If I'm interested in getting out and I go too fast, that's usually when it starts to get the choke here, right? So the first exercise we're gonna do, you're gonna bend your knees a little bit, you're gonna be leaning forward. So you can actually grab your own feet if you like. So try to pull me backwards, please. Pull me. As hard as you like. It's gonna be hard, right? So, I can also grab his feet. That's what I prefer, to be honest, to grab his feet. There's a number of ways how you can grip. You can grip like this. You can grip like this. It's better to grip like this in the beginning, I think, because here you start to open your elbows in the beginning. It's good after a while, but in the beginning, I prefer to keep my elbows closed and pull his feet backwards. You try to attack me now, please. Yeah. He's gonna be very hard here. You try to go for a choke. It's gonna be hard. So go for this, again, gonna be like 2 minutes, and then we switch again. So, go. Someone is on our back, I saw people doing this, right? But I can still get pulled back in this way. What you gotta be doing here is you have to be like a chicken a little bit, you see? You put your shoulders forward and arch your back. So everybody like now sit on your butt, please, sit like this, and arch your back like this. So, sorry, make a ball of your back. And think about how you feel. And now do the same thing, pull your elbows backwards, push your chest forward. Feels better or no? I think so. Okay, good. Now the next part, come here please. Look. Jiu-Jitsu is always about timing. What I believe, and put this very good in your ears what I'm going to say now. Look, Jiu-Jitsu for me is about giving the person what he wants until he doesn't want it anymore. And you're all laughing, but do you understand what I'm saying? Right? If I'm pulling and he's leaning forward, and I'm going to push and he pushes backwards, like I can do this all day. If I want to, so let's say I'm on his back attacking him, right? And I really want to pull him backwards. Okay, at the moment, you keep leaning forward, please. So the technique we're going to do today is actually about this. The moment, so you keep leaning forward. And a lot of people on the back are going to try to pull you backwards because I cannot choke here. They're going to try to pull you backwards. And you resist, you resist, you resist, you resist, you resist. And then you slide your butt forward. Yeah, and now it's hard to choke as well. I'm going to talk about that later. Now look at this. If I'm on the back, what should I be doing? Should I be pushing or should I be pulling him backwards?
Side.
Sorry?
On the side.
Should I be, okay, let's say, should I be pushing, should I be pulling, or should I be falling sideways? You didn't pay attention to the first thing I said today.
Sideways.
Now, what was the first thing we have to do? We have to connect and make sure he cannot move. So in this case, I have to lean forward and put shoulder pressure. So from here, look, try to lean forward more. You're allowed. See? Try to go backwards. You can go sideways. That's okay for me. Now I can follow up and start attacking you there. And a long time ago, they always told us this side is heaven and that side is hell, but it's not true anymore. You can fall either side, doesn't matter. So fall to the other side, please. To the other side. I'm still okay here. In fact, I prefer this side even more to attack. But it's not about attacking today. The point is this, look, if I'm pushing forward and you're in a rush to escape, you start pushing your shoulders backwards and slip the hip forward, go, that's when I get the choke. Now when I'm here, should I be pulling or should I be pushing when I choke him? Sorry? Should I be pulling or should I be pushing?
Pushing.
Yeah. If you want to make someone uncomfortable, all you gotta do is put his nose in his butt. It's a sec. See, if I'm doing this here, leaning forward, that's a choke. Whereas if he holds my arm, please, hold my arm, please, with both arms, yeah, and you start pulling my arms down, here. If I start pulling, so really pull it down, here. If I start pulling backwards now, I'm fighting against my own arm because my arm wants to come with me, but he's pulling it down, so I'm pulling away myself with my own arm. So if you want to choke him here, look, I gotta be leaning forward. Your nose is gonna go in your butt, doesn't matter. And to be honest, when I'm choking, look, this is also something weird. If the best thing to have probably is over here is the full moteleon. But when is the last time you got it? I never get it anymore. Maybe I'm playing too nice a little bit. If you go through the nose, you can do it. But playing nice, I never get it. In competition sometimes, if I really start to crush the face, but on training, I never get it. And the weird thing is this, if I go 2 versus 1 here, so you try to defend my arms, okay, go. I'm never gonna get it, so don't allow my arms, I'm never gonna get it. 2 versus 2, attacking I always lose. But if I control one arm and I go 1 versus 1, then it's easier to go for it. Now, once I have one grip inside, I don't have to pull anymore, I just have to lean forward. So you try to defend now, please. And you make it tighter and tighter and tighter, gradually. So to recapitulate, we're going to be here and I'm going to put pressure forward my shoulders, right? Not making a ball, just putting pressure forward. And we're going to do the 2 things. We're going to do one where he goes first and one where I go first. So let's say I have seatbelt already. He's going to be in a rush to the shoulder. Make sure you don't get a head to your face. Go back, please. Make sure you don't get head butted, so keep your head a bit sideways. Push forward. He's going to push his shoulders backwards and I'm going to stop him. Go push. And then when he goes, try to catch it. That's clause 1. See? And also try to choke with it, with one arm. And then for me, look, I'm leaning forward, see? And he starts to pull me backwards and I resist. And then when I'm finally there, I put my legs forward and I'm gonna slide all the way deep until my head is underneath his armpit. So you try to choke me here, please? You're gonna have a quite hard time here. Okay? So try these both. The class is gonna be about the second one, how to use that part to start attacking at that point, okay? So, a few minutes, let's go. What I see now when I go around is that people use their arms too much. So, when you're pulling with your arms here, you're actually getting tired. My arms are like 99% relaxed. I'm keeping my hands where they are, I'm mainly pushing forward. The only thing I'm interested in with my arms over here is not pulling him tight. The thing I'm interested in is him not getting space underneath. So go underneath my hands, please. Well, try to go underneath my hands. No, wait, 1 second. That's for later. So I meant like try to get your hands inside now, for example, and push them away. And control my hands. These I really don't want to have. When you can control one hand, that's out. That's the only thing I'm concerned about here. I'm not interested in pulling him super tight. I am like a little bit just connecting my hands and pulling my shoulders closer. So it's mostly my core that's pushing forward. Here. So it actually makes a lot of sense if you lean forward. Look, lean forward. And I go backwards. I give him the space that he can use to slide in. Yeah. So this is a lot of consequences, but I'm only going to talk about this today. So in training you can say you start from here with the both feet inside. Obviously in competition you cannot let this happen because it's 4 points. What are you going to defend first? The hooks or the choke? Sorry? Hooks, yes. Let's say it's a super tight choke, then yes, the choke has privilege. But in competition, a good guy, if he gets both hooks inside and he got 4 points, good luck still winning that match. It doesn't matter if you win, if you lose on submission or on points. If you got 4 points ahead, good luck beating a high level match. So yes, if you're getting almost choked out, then you give this preference. But otherwise, mostly ignore this fight with your shoulder and your shin, right? And I'm sure Prit is going to talk more about that part in his Panda class. So let's focus on this part right now. So here, usually I start to catch the legs. And I want to get one, or when I get in competition, get both hooks inside, I get 3 seconds to remove one hook. I'm going to get an advantage already for sure, but that's okay. So I'm leaning forward. Now how am I going to remove the feet? Look, resist a little bit, okay? It's very hard to remove those out. In Jiu-Jitsu, you don't move your opponent, you move yourself and immobilize your opponent. So if I'm here, look, I try to keep tight, okay? I'm going to stretch my own leg, see, and fish my own leg out. At the same time, keeping myself forward all the time. Now look what this did to me. At this point, my elbow is already more tight inside it over here. So I'm here, he's trying to pull me backwards, and I'm resisting, and I'm fishing my own leg out. Okay? Now at this point, when I'm leaning forward, I'm already looking in a little bit. It makes it harder. From here, you can go for the choke and tap, okay? You can access my throat. If I put my shin against my shoulder and I'm leaning forward, try to do it now, please. It's way, way, way harder. Now the moment it starts to pull me backwards, see, I'm gonna go, and at the last moment, when it's finally there, I'm gonna slide my head underneath his shoulder. Look at my elbow now. Before my elbow was closed, now there's a lot of space in between. So here you have a small chance to catch me in the arm bar. So for this reason, I'm gonna switch my arm to this grip over here. Look at the grip. If I'm too high on the toes, it will slide off. I gotta put my pinky right underneath this, how do you call this toe? The little toe. So, well, the middle joint of the finger, let's say, right underneath that toe. And don't grab with your thumbs. There's a lot of people doing this. Just keep it like this, okay? And now try to get the foot free, please. It's almost ridiculous how easy it is to keep this foot. Even look later, if you're going to, let's say it gets an arm bar, see, try to break this grip. It's actually super easy to break this grip, but people don't really think about it. But all you got, well, I'm not going to talk about that now. You have to figure it out by yourself. But, okay, here. So I'm here, leaning forward. Okay, pull backwards, please. He starts to pull backwards. When he's there, like right when I'm over the center, I'm going to slide forward. I'm going to switch your grips. And now the main thing here, this arm. I'm going to slide. I'm going to put this arm underneath. I'm going to catch above his knee. And now here, if I want to, I can remove the second hook. Both feet in the mat. Now I'm going to make a huge bridge. You're going to put, so now I have a little bit of faith here. We're going to expose our throat, but it's not going to be able to catch it, even with the gi. So keep your elbow tight, connect both sides, neck backwards. I'm going to wait a bit. What's your next move? Start bridging. See here? I'm going to put my nose to the floor. And that's as far as we're going to go for now. Okay? So, go from here, please. There is no rush to get out. There is just a rush to be safe. So, no rush actually. Just want to keep whatever you have. And like I said, the only rush I have on competition is getting this hook out. So this I will usually do before anything else on competition. On training, I couldn't care less how long you're on my back. So here, I'm leaning forward, you're pulling me backwards. See, and I technically don't need my hands. See? And the more, look here, it can be still a bit hard to get the feet out. Then it starts pulling up. See here, my leg actually create a bit space by pushing, get my foot out, my leg out. The problem I see people doing here is to go too fast. And then I can get caught in my throat. Yeah. If you think about, he's gonna have to, so I have to give him, if I really keep leaning forward here forever, he's usually not gonna get me backwards. So I have to give him a little bit of hope. When he starts to pull, see, I act like I resist, like I don't want it. I go. Now, look, his hip line is over here. Go back please a bit. Go back more. Here, look. So the moment, so let's say there is like a vertical plane here above his hip line. The moment my shoulders pass his hip line, that's when I'm gonna pull my pants off, let's say. So I'm here, I'm leaning forward, he starts pulling. Yeah, you anchor your feet in the ground, and now you really slide deep. At this point, it's hard for him to start catching a choke. I'm not interested in this side for now. I'm just going to switch my hands here and catch his foot. What this allows me to do is I really can pull here and start like blocking his hip a little bit using this arm. From here, shoulder on the floor, and now I'm safe. Hand through and catch the leg. If you doubt what it is, look, on top please, lose his leg. Go on top please. Just like a deep half guard. You can actually get to the same position if you're in deep half, just by rolling over. We go here, and it's the exact same thing. I like deep half guard also, by the way. And on top, I always like pressure passing. My main goal is double under, because I'm 100% safe here, even if it's with punches. You're more gonna hurt your fist than my head, in this case. If they get out of this one, you go for the over under. And usually here they start pushing your head away, and hip escape. And then you're here. I call it a single under. And as long as I'm doing good, it's fine. If they sweep me over here, bump. It's also when I'm getting in this position. So I call this a fireman pass, because it's like the fire, like the fireman's carry. It's a lot of, it's the same thing actually. And this class is called attacking when someone is on your back. And I saw, oh, how can you do this? Well, there is a lot of examples how we already do this. Many judo throws, people say like, hey, Tayotoshi, for example, today. It's always showing your back to your opponent in a way. And there's another reason why I do it, which I'm maybe gonna get in the end. But there's already a lot of examples we already do where we show our back to our opponent, but on our terms. So, honestly, I'm not interested in giving my back. I'm just showing you the worst position possible, let's say, to start from, and then work back from there. So I'm holding his feet, leaning forward, he pulls backwards, yeah. Keeps pulling, closing a gap here, and out slide. Switch the grips, and keep going deeper as much as you can. Don't be afraid, so if I start back, keep tight. Here, hear my voice here, it's quite hard. If I open my neck, I can talk easier. You can try to choke. I've never been choked from here. Elbow slits through here. Catch above the knee. I saw some people holding here, and you don't control this hip. You gotta be over the leg. And now about grips. This is not a good grip. You gotta exaggerate your grip, and then pull it back. It's like a bit of like a snake bite as a kid. You know? You have to immobilize the skin. So you go over and pull it back. At this point, I remove my own leg, post, and I'll make a back bridge. And here a lot of things can happen. You can go, well, two actually. You can go left, and you can go right. Look, the big mistake people do is not keeping contact with the floor from here. So actually, I'm going to show the full move at first. So I'm going to start walking over. Sometimes I have to go over here. Walk. Switch your hips, slide, keep walking, and hopefully stay here. I can catch his head. Sit down, and I will make a drill from this thing here. I'm going to roll him up. That's what I like about back things. You can make a circle all the time. So you're here. Now it's your turn. I'm pushing forward. You control my feet. Yeah. I start pulling. You wait. Yeah. Now pull it off. Great. Switch your grip over here. That's very good. Keep my leg. Yeah. Exaggerate and pull back. Don't hold the gi by, for example. It's too loose, and you ruin your fingers. Get a little bit lower here. Yeah. Now nose on the floor, straight backwards. Now if you're already turning it sideways, it's not to go back, please go back. It's not a disaster, but it's better for you if you go straight over. So nose to the floor, make a straight bridge. More. Great. Now you start walking sideways. Don't switch your hip, that's a mistake. Walk. Now without leaving the floor, you turn your, well I'm going to talk about it in a second. Keep walking, catch my head. Walk. Yeah, great, let go. And now flip me up. Oop. Now it's his turn again. Go back please. Here, push forward, move the leg first. He keeps pulling, slide. Switch the grips. Catch the knee. Try to remove the leg first. Here, it's better. You can block me, but that's not the point right now. Now for you, I'm going to bridge. Now do me one favor, don't try to do this. It can be done, but usually when I leave one foot, push me over there please. Look the other side. It happens a lot to get put here. So try to keep contact with the floor at all times. You walk as far as you can, keep a wide base, then switch your knees, now you slide over the floor. Bump. Should I grab his head at this point? Then there's a high chance I'm going to get arm bar or shoulder bar or whatever. Here. So from here, I'm going to keep walking. I'm going to first bring my hip and my arm very close to his head. When I'm here, now I catch the head. Slide it backwards, put your hand in his hip, and here I can control him forever. So try to move. Great. Now for the drill, I let go, and I roll him up again, and we reset the whole motion. Clear? Let's try. Look, I'm not interested right now in. Well, it's impossible for me to correct everybody and having it straight correct right now, you know. But just trust that it works and put some time into it. For me, this is my A game. Even in competition, it's my A game. Of course, I don't want to give my back, but parts of it always are gonna come back. Well, if you have more questions about it, you can always ask me during the week. So we're gonna continue. So he's gonna pull me backwards. Yeah, great. Look forward, sideways, slide, switch the grip here, arm goes out, catch over the knee, remove the foot. I'm gonna bridge. So now we're gonna have some troubles along the way. So what can happen, for example, sometimes he doesn't fall this way, sometimes he falls to the other side. This can happen. So in this case, look, you're gonna put your leg over, and I'm gonna pretty much ignore this leg. I'm gonna start walking over on this side. Here. So actually putting myself almost in a crucifix. The crucifix is only a problem if you control my arm, please. And like really pull it open. Here, it starts to be a problem. But as long as I keep my arm super tight here, it's actually in my advantage. Here. Well, you can, it's not so bad here. But when I'm here, what I want to do now, I want to get to the other side. There's two ways to do it. There's the flexible way, flexible spectacular way, and the way that works for everybody. So, the cool way is this, you look over your head, you walk, jump at this point, and you do this a few times. So you wrestlers do this all the time. You're here, so don't try to go here and jump, do not work. You gotta walk, put your nose to the floor, at the end of the jump, you go over. So this you need to practice a little bit. That's one way. The other way is to walk around doing the long way. It's also fine. But if you go that way, don't leave your arm behind. So keep my arm tight, please. Keep my arm backwards. Don't start doing this. Don't leave your arm behind. That's very dangerous. So here, keep your arm tight. I can even connect my both arms, slide a bit down, bridge. Now I start walking backwards again. Here. Walk over and slide. At this point, there's always two options. He either makes himself small. That's the easy way. Then you keep walking until he can control his head. Or he makes himself big. When he starts making himself big, you're going to pretty much ignore the pass from the beginning. You're just going to walk again in the same line. And in this case, we're fighting the single under pass over here. So basically, once we're here, if he makes himself small, I'm also going to try to walk around close to his head, control the head. If he makes himself tall, I'm going to walk away over here, wait a little bit until he comes back, gets the head, or come back please, give me the hand. I can start controlling his hand as well. I walk over. There's not time enough to go over this part alone, but the back defense should already work. So here, leaning forward, he pulls me backwards, slide deep, switch the grip, go over, take the foot out, bridge, he pulls me to the other side, start walking over. From here, I don't want my head to end up on the floor, this is dangerous. So now I can choose stop. So I want my head to stay over his hip, here, keep your elbow tight, bridge. First version, walk, jump over, and sometimes I've had matches where it takes like 5 or 6 tries to get there. But as long as I keep my arms not separated, keep them together kind of here, I'm fine. If I start lifting my head, then the choke in the gi, you can get my gi, it's an option. If I keep my head tight here, it's going to be very hard. So I'm going to walk, 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 jump over, go from here, get your both hands together, start walking sideways. Walk around. For now, he's going to make distance, and I'm just going to accept this for now. That's it. Okay? Try please, go. It's by all means, it's way more. I mean, this part of a bigger system. It starts in deep half. It actually comes to a point like this actually. Look, every time I stand up please, when I'm fighting, for example in competition, all I'm focused on right now is getting this arm underneath this leg. So let's say he starts to pass my guard, he steps, all I gotta need is this. He can have his foot in or get his foot out, doesn't matter. He starts to go for my back, starts walking around, goes for it, bop, out. What's the score? What's the score? Sorry? 2-0 for me. If the referee is good. That's a very important detail. But the older I get, the less I care for referees. Stand up please. So here again, look. So all I need at all times is having this arm underneath his leg. So often, how can you start like, some people like do the shin on shin. If you like doing shin on shin, it's a small step to do the, I don't know how you call it. I call it baby hug in my gym, but I don't know how you guys call it. So then it's a small step from here to go there, right? And now look, in Jiu Jitsu, I call this mirroring. You never go first. You always go when he goes. So when I'm here, what he should be doing is walking over here. But then I can switch to my regular game. And nobody gonna think this is a good deal on top. So I'm telling you, every single time I was in competition, I got this arm in, they always go for my back. Now, if I keep my arm out here, that's a bit of a danger, right? Because he maybe can do something. But go back, please. So if he's here, I catch, hide my arms. I'm not even gripping, just hiding my arm here. And he starts walking around. Great. And you wait for it, and they're always gonna lay down. And when he goes here, boom, great, see, my arm is safe. I can use it as a lever to get my arm out, boom, start walking over. And here, you're not gonna get the points yet here. This is, what can happen here? So, for example, the first thing you're gonna try to do here is try to get back on their knees. Get on your knee, please, here, go, pull him back down. Okay, so again, I'm just focused on not losing my position here. Second thing you can try to do is you can try to go for my arm. And this I usually like, because here, he gave me his arm. See, I can try to bridge him over to this side. You can do the same game again, where you can jump back and forth over here. Go back to it. What else can happen? He can step his foot in. And that's a gift, because he just gave me his foot. I can get my leg out, and here, so try to attack, please, go for it. So what I usually do in competition here, if he's a good guy, see, I try to get my 2 points, and the rules are you always have to work, because otherwise you stall, right? And these days there is people, I never find a person I cannot sweep. There's persons hard to sweep, but I don't think it exists an unsweepable person. But all the time you see people who are impassable, let's say, because well, these days if you have a very flexible game, there is a lapel guard, there's a lot, if the person is just focused or not going to get his guard passed, the odds are you're not going to pass his guard if he's very good and flexible, right? So what I like to do, if I'm on bottom and I'm here, see, and he makes a step, you can even pass my guard straight away. Come, as long as I have this length, I'm all good. Maybe now, because of the stupid rules, they're going to give him an advantage, but I don't care anymore. See, but let's say I'm lucky and I was here, and he didn't get his points, so he starts to turn, hide your hands, step. He goes to it, you take him with you. Steps over, it's all good. All I gotta do is waste a bit of time, and your coach is having time all the time. Oh, well, 1 minute ago, okay, fine. Because since I'm technically defending, which it looks like, I can never be called for stalling, right? So you're gonna spend a lot of time there. This also ties back into armbar defense. So a lot of times he's gonna step over. You have the foot, you're gonna start rolling over for armbar defense. And go back, please, one step, please. This part I'm going to talk more about in my pressure passing class. Every time he starts to roll over, very slowly roll over, please. Yeah. Here, we can actually start stacking him. Stacking means bending his neck and keeping his butt over his shoulder. So here, you can waste a lot of time making him uncomfortable. All he needs a little bit of push, control the head and the leg at the same time. And you can pass as well. Like if you catch a roll with me, 99% sure you're gonna get in that position at some point. What I also like to do, come here. So I never back, please. Head in front of me, legs over here. Yes, here. So nobody these days gives a double under anymore. Over under I get, but every time you really push your head away. So after a while, I just started from competition. I'm here. They catch my head, you go for the leg straight away. And as long as you stay on top here, they cannot get points. And they're usually going to take this step. They're going to be so happy they almost get your back and whatever, and they're going to rush and they're going to get tired. And all I need at one point is having this trip, controlling the hand, controlling the gi, controlling the head, walk around. I can go for a pass straight away. Now the best part, and this one is the one that saved my life the most in competition. Who's very good in back takes from De La Riva? There's someone who likes this? Come here, please. Okay. You can keep the gear, that's fine. Come here, please. So, did anybody see ever my mirroring class? Maybe yes, maybe no. Look, De La Riva. Look, whenever I'm here, so this can be it, right? What do you want me to do? You want me to step over here? You want me to step over here? This one you like, okay? Look. When I'm on bottom, you like burying balls maybe, right? A little bit. Okay, look, so I want to give my view on it, okay? If you stay straight in the middle, look. If I'm here, if you have a proper grip over here, right? Every time I start turning my hip in over here, I make myself light on that side. So I give you your, so this is your stopper, this is your elevator. So if I start turning in here and you move your shoulders over there, yeah, you can start to elevate me here on this side. This is something I don't like. So what I always think, and this is going to be the main thing. Actually, it's a pity this class came first. I would have preferred to teach my pressure game class first. But anyway, when I'm here, you can do with the shoulders three things. You can stay in the middle, move your shoulders over there, move your shoulders over there. And my theory is this: if you want to pass someone's guard, you're always going to turn your hip in on the side where his head is going. If his head is here, I can start going over here. If his head goes there, you cannot elevate me over there right now. So then I'm going here. Elevate me. A little bit hard. Move your shoulders over there. Now you can elevate me, you feel? So, if your head is there, I give pressure here with my hip. If you go over there, I gotta go here. Now there's a problem if I keep going. I expose my back. So they go for the back, they put their both hooks in. Now you wait for a bit. You can go for it, go for it. Then push against the leg and flip over straight away. So, and they always go for it. Every single time. So you're here, step, they go. Now don't use this against me, okay? I'm gonna be angry. No, okay. So you actually can bait them. Like you go sideways here, wait for a little bit. They're always gonna go put the both feet. Look, now the whole thing, you wait. Look, so wait for a second. Okay. I don't wanna be in the middle. I wanna be a little bit on my side here. And I'm gonna put my hand in my pocket against my own shin here. And now you wait. They're gonna be, if it's not so eager, it's harder. The only thing that cannot happen, I cannot give this hand. But it's hard if you keep your hand here. And now you wait, you wait, you wait. Starts attacking, against the knee. See? Keep your elbows shut. Go, fight. And then you go to something else. 2 points. No, actually no. No 2 points because I started on top.
Yeah.
But the point is, you're in a kind of a lost position, or I don't really like, well, I like and I appreciate a lot all the modern games, but I like to play them myself. I don't think, you know, look, as a teacher, I cannot ignore burning balls, I cannot ignore spider guard, De La Riva, it all exists and you gotta respect that. But it does not mean I have to play that game. I can play my own game against the new game, let's say, right? So this ties back to something else. What does playing your own game mean? It means fighting the fight where you want it to be. No one can ever, look, no one can ever stop you from giving your back. They cannot stop you. So it doesn't matter in what kind of a shitty position you are. Attack, please. All I gotta do at some point is grabbing this leg. See, fight, 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 fight. I'm always here. And you walk out. So it's, for me, it's my fail-safe. Doesn't matter where you are. I mean, they can start attack. Oh, I can give a plenty of position, but always gonna be the same thing. But another thing now, look. Every time you fight, okay, who faces sometimes, everybody sometimes faces very flexible opponents, right? And they're very hard to pass when they're on their backs and keeping their head on the floor, and straight back. It's going to be super hard to pass their guard. When do I manage to pass their guards? If I shoot the double leg, take him down and pass straight away. So for wrestling. Or if I'm sweeping someone, take their legs and pass them right away. But a clean pass when someone is just waiting for me to pass his guard is almost impossible these days with some guys. So what I'm actually trying to do here with this whole game is recreate the moment of the takedown. Understand? Or no? So let's say I'm here and he goes underneath. What we are doing, we go bam, we go, look, we recreate the moment right after the takedown. That's when I have a shot. Maybe he steps over, okay, he goes, go, 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 puts the hook. Invert, please. Every time they invert, you can put them on their neck, control their shoulders. And I have to ride out the time a little bit. And that's how you manage to pass flexible people as well, given enough time. That's it. Thank you for your attention and for staying this late. Are there any questions? Okay, look, so if there's questions, there's open mat now, or we'll be over there in that corner. You can always ask me questions about this right now. I still have an hour and a half, I think. And otherwise, enjoy the open mat. Let's go first.